put us in. All right, we are live on the TD Report. We are 2 weeks away from the big day, the day that saves people's marriages. Football season. Without football season, we would be at a divorce rate of 95 to 99%. The women of the world are about to start celebrating so they don't have to deal with all of us on Sundays and Saturdays and every daggone thing else and Friday nights and everything. Women are about to get their daggone liberation and their peace because football season is coming around and they really don't want to be around us. And now they got an excuse. What you say about that, Dad?
I agree. It's the best time of the year. Like I told people, that the NBA is the NBA. I mean, I'm not a huge fan. I watch it because it's on. I'd rather watch the college basketball game. So when the NBA finals end, I don't get sad because I was already sad because the football season ends. I kind of get sad. When March Madness ends, I get sad. I love baseball. I write about it, but baseball's kind of hard to watch until the playoffs for most people. It just is. It's too many games. It's too many. It's just every day. It wears you out. Most people don't like that. So I'm with you. Without football, I don't know what I'd do, man. I mean, it is the best time from what now to February. I mean, and even in March when it's free agency and stuff kick in and the new league year starts. I mean, we get excited for that, the draft. I mean, it means a lot to us. So this is what we do, man. I love it. Let's rock, man. I love it.
Speaking on that, the NFL has done a great job. Now, I think you see this, the XFL, the USFL, I think has a better avenue to get into the people because of the time of year that they're on. Listen, folks, I, it's a movie called New Jack City. It came out in 1991. I
Hmm.
always joke about it and everything. When I'm sitting in Maryland Live at FanDuel, I call that big place the Carter. You remember them in the movie The Carter?
Oh
That was the
yeah.
place where they went up and got. Listen, it's like Smokey. It be calling me, man. It be calling me. Football be calling me. I mean, even they keep the boards going for football. And
Hmm.
let me give you a stat that I don't think people take to. The Super Bowl was February 13th this year.
Hmm.
Yeah, it was the day before Valentine's Day.
Yep.
Do you know that that day it was $8 billion spent gambling in this country
Wow.
in one day? People, oh, I'm boycotting. Oh, I don't want politics. Oh, man, you get out of here with that crap. You on here listening to the damn game. You looking around the corner to see what the score is. You know damn well you can't do without football, Dad. You tell him. You're a coach. Tell him how it is, Dad.
It's
Tell
important,
him your
man.
day.
It's
Tell him your
important.
week, Dad. Give us your week during the season.
During the season, well, the season is it starts. To be honest, it starts like to me. I say February. Most some guys say January. I say when the season ends, you get your kids till late January. Early February. You want to come in the first week of February and really hit the road running. And then it's workouts after school almost every day, 3 days a week, I guess. We don't go every day because it's kind of got other stuff going on. So you try to go, you know, 3 days after week, after school, for that. And then you have uh summer workouts when school ends. You still got to get together in the evenings, and then with the heat index and everything, it's kind of difficult. So you go either early as you can or late as you can. And then even with that, it's tricky because, like you said, Tony, it'd be 85 degrees at 6:30 in the morning. So you hit the field at 8 o'clock, it's 90 degrees, and most schools now are playing on synthetic turf. So that turf makes it 10 degrees hotter. So if it's 90, it's 100 on that turf. So as a coach, you got to be mindful and say, you know what, we're going to the gym today. We're going to do some board work. And we just going to live with hitting the weight room and maybe going and doing some cardio indoors. We can run. Like I've been a real big fan of using the hallways in the school to run through them. Like like the cross country team would do when the weather's bad outside. They would use the inside of the school and run. So I'm like, we still can get our work in. We just gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to be mindful and make some other adjustments. So You would take my day from now to the end of the season will probably go from about 6:30 in the morning, 7 in the morning, till about 9:30, 10 at night, and then start it all over again. And then when you play games on Friday, that's a midnight, 1 o'clock night because after the game, coaches game in at 9:30, we're gonna sit in the back and talk and you know shoot the shit as they say, say for about an hour or two. You know
Say
what
it
I
on
mean?
here.
We shoot the shit a little bit. We talk about what didn't look good. We talk about what kid stunk, what kid played well, who got to get better, and we might even pull out a little Hennessy and, have a couple, do what we do. It's just what we do as coaches. So that's a Saturday you get up, you got to come right back and go through film. And then Sunday may be your day off, but it's really a day off because you got to prepare for Monday and do this all over again. And don't let it be an opponent that you know is your rival. That makes it even harder to prepare because the whole week you're like, okay, I know I got such and such Friday night. I gotta beat them because we both undefeated, and the winner of this game is gonna host the playoff game where we play each other. I'd rather play here than go out there, or vice versa. So we need to win that game. So it doesn't stop. But if you love it, it's not work, it's fun. So that's the way I look at it.
Okay, so folks, what we're giving you is a real coach. We're here with Dev, POV, Mason from sports. We're giving you a real week. See, because you guys get to sit, you beer drinking, nacho eating folks. You don't understand how it really is when you sit here and you yell about the coach made a
Yeah.
bad call and you don't understand how much work goes into being a coach. Now I want to lead Deb into this. Let's get to the NFL, Deb. With Kyler Murray's contract, please explain to folks what that was and how that came down.
Well, I know, okay, they lost the playoff game really bad to the Rams, got embarrassed. And to his credit, he didn't have DeAndre Hopkins, but still, they didn't even put up a fight, and he was awful. So when the game ended, a couple weeks later, right? Actually, the week before the Super Bowl, he scrubbed his whole social media of anything Cardinals. That's the new age way of I'm mad, I'm fed up, I want a new deal, or I want out. Like we used to just say what we want as men. These dudes have prima donna diva things they do. They scrub social media to let you know they're not happy. So he scrubs his social media on the 7th. And the 28th, his agent, who now looks like a genius, comes out with this letter telling the Cardinals that he wants to be the franchise quarterback for life, but until they figure out how to get him a new deal, he's not going to play. So the Cardinals are like, well, he 2 years, still got 2 years under team control. Steve Keim is a very good GM. He goes, well, okay, we may talk about a deal, but there's no guarantee we're gonna get one done. So months went by. He showed up for mini camp in June, which is, he did that so he wouldn't get fined. But I think May the 20th is when the Cardinals really had to start thinking about paying him. That's when DeAndre Hopkins' suspension became real. That 6-game suspension. There's no way, we talked about this earlier. Ain't no way in hell you can have him and DeAndre Hopkins miss time. You're missing your key receiver, your best one of the top 3 or 4 guys in the league at that position, and you're missing your star quarterback. So I think the DeAndre Hopkins suspension made the Cardinals move a little quicker than they probably were going to move. I think they were going to try to sweat it out and see if he really showed up for camp. But knowing that DeAndre Hopkins won't be there the first 6 weeks, I think you saw them kind of, okay, you win. You got this one, Kyler. Now we're going to give you your money. And that means now, like you stated, the team is going to have to be really good with what you got because you ain't going to be able to get so much more now because you gave him $46 million 46.2. He's making 200,000 more a year than Deshaun Watson, making him the highest paid quarterback in the league per annual, outside of Aaron Rodgers. I mean, over the value of his contract, it's the biggest, but Aaron Rodgers has the most annual average annual value of $50 million a year. So it's crazy, but that's how his contract came about. He basically threatened to sit out, in so many words, and DeAndre Hopkins got suspended, and now he's the second highest paid quarterback in the league.
Now, I'm going to give you my overview. I told you that you hear it here now. I'm a month early. Well, I'm 2 weeks early. I usually go to the first game or the first preseason game, and I try to give you my Super Bowl picks.
Mm-hmm.
My Super Bowl pick in the NFC is the Arizona Cardinals making it 3 for 3 of home teams hosting the Super Bowl. Now, I will explain. I'm not picking them to win.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picking them to attend because I don't think they can beat the AFC team. Now, I think the Cardinal season, they always start fast.
True.
If they start fast this year without the top receiver, it's going to allow Marquise Brown to get involved a little bit better. And I think by him getting involved without Hopkins being there for 6 games, it's going to help them mesh more come December and January when they really need them. That's just me. I'm a Cowboy. I think the stars have aligned so much in the NFL for these home teams to play Super Bowl. They went 54, 55 years without one. And the
True.
last 2 years, they've had two. Now, the
Mm-hmm.
next year, I'm going to get ahead of myself. I think the Raiders are going to go. Tell me what you think.
You make
Because
some
I
very
know
good
you don't like
points. Well, no, what you said earlier, the point you make is very well. I think Rondale Moore is going to benefit well too. I think he's a good one too that needs some time to develop. So you'll see that. I think you'll see more of the Zach Ertz being used more so than he probably has been. And he had a good year last year. He's definitely going to be a huge part of their offense now without DeAndre the first 6 weeks. So that's good points because when DeAndre come back, you ain't got to do nothing for him. He's that good. You just plug him in and he go. So you know he's going to bring it every week and he's going to take the coverage and he's going to allow others to get the one-on-ones everywhere where they should wear to win sometimes. So that's his effect. You don't have to run plays for DeAndre Hopkins. He's going to get open and make plays. That's what he does. So that's a good point you make. I just think if you look at the last two teams, the Rams and the Buccaneers, top to bottom, they were much stronger than what I think Arizona is as a whole. I don't think Arizona is as good defensively as either one of them teams were. And I definitely don't think they're as good offensively because I don't think Kyler Murray is on the level of Brady or Stafford. He doesn't, first of all, his size is the issue sometimes. As good as he can be with his legs, he can also be super erratic because he can't see over the line still. You need to, his linemen, watch his linemen. They have to literally duck sometimes so he can get passing lanes. And not saying it doesn't work. He's been successful, and then I just think the Chandler Jones and J.J. Watt. If they had Chandler Jones still and J.J. Watt could stay healthy, I could buy that. They could get to the Super Bowl because then that would make the defense that dominant. Zaven Collins, Isaiah Simmons. But I just think, Rodney Hudson did come back to center. That's big for them. He is returning. So he's going to show up the offensive line, I believe. But I just think the loss of Chase Edmonds at running back, the loss of Chandler Jones at end, Watt's injury history. He get hurt every year now. Watt come out and play 3-4 great games and then tear something. He's done the whole year. It happens every single year now for him. The body, he just worn out, And then I look at the loss of DeAndre Hopkins again. That like you said, if they don't start strong, they'll probably still be okay to make the playoffs because, like you said, the NFC isn't as strong. And him coming back, you got to figure if they go 3-3 or 2-4, just say they go 2-4 while he's out. The last 11 with him, they could win 7 or 8 of them games. That should be enough. 10-7 should get them in, I believe, in the NFC. 10-7, maybe even 9-8 gets you in the NFC this year. It ain't getting you over in the AFC. We know that, but no way. You might need 11 or 12 in the AFC. You might need 11 or 12. It is murderous rough.
AFC. Tell me about Lamar Jackson. What's the status on his contract? What are you hearing? What are you getting from your people?
I heard today, I talked to a buddy of mine who is a Baltimore beat reporter. He works for, what's that called? What's the name of the street? Russell Street, the Russell Street Report, which is a beat show for the Ravens. He told me Lamar did report to camp today. He's in Baltimore, ready to go next week, which starts, I believe it starts Sunday or Monday for them, where they report Monday. So he's in Baltimore. He's telling me 5 years, 240 is what he might be hearing. And I said, it's got to be at least 232 because there's no way the two guys that got 230 can get more than him when he's much more accomplished than them guys.
MVP.
He's an MVP, only unanimous MVP besides Tom Brady. He's got 37 wins and 12 losses as the starter. He's been the Ravens' leading rusher every year since he's been the starting quarterback. Even last year when he threw 16 touchdowns and 13 picks, they were 8-3 and number one in the AFC when he went down. And people say, well, yes, and you mentioned how they lost like 8 defenders. They had 8 defensive guys on injured reserve, and he still had them. Yeah, he wasn't playing great, but the effect that he has on a defense, just knowing what he can do with his legs and his arm. I hate to bring this analogy in, but I played a video game with my son sometime, and he used Lamar Jackson and plays. You can have him completely corralled on Madden, and he gets out of there and outruns the whole game. It's like, what really can you do? So he is a problem. The only thing that worries me is the amount of hits he's taken in 4 years. I think it's like 700 hits. That is what, 200, almost 200, that's 175 hits a year. He did bulk up to 220 this offseason, 225. He does look stronger. He does look a little bit more physically imposing. But we saw what that did to Cam Newton, and he's 6'5", 250. Cam Newton looks like he can't do anything right. And Cam Newton's not that old. He's what, 31, 32 years old? He's not that old. But his body, he's not. He's been in the league, 11 years, and his body's completely broke down. Can't even throw the ball 10 yards anymore from all the shots he took on his body. Jackson is taking just as many shots, and he's not 250. He's 220 pounds, and that's my only worry. But the Ravens, now Jackson should be smiling because after seeing Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson getting that money is one thing, but Kyler Murray getting that money, oh, I'm definitely getting mine. You definitely got to see me now. So if I'm sitting back, if I'm his mom and him, I'm cheesing ear to ear because I can get any kind of Jimmy seafood meal I want, as much as I want in Baltimore after I sign this contract.
Bill West should be a little bit happy. We're going to probably get Bill West on next week after the Ravens report. Remember, we're going to be live. Jody Coleman and I are going to be live from the 2 weeks from tonight from the first preseason game up in Canton, Ohio, the Jags and the Raiders. So we're going to kind of give you, we'll be able to see ATN a little bit. We'll be able to see Trevor Lawrence a little bit. I mean, those guys got to play because they're in a new system, so they got to actually get some real game time because they need to get the timing down. Yep. I mean, they're not going to play 3-4 quarters, but if I'm them, I think ATN and them will probably play 3-4 series, which equals to a quarter, maybe.
Well, you get to also see the guy that blew open the whole market this offseason, Christian Kirk. He changed the market in every way. He literally changed the market for everybody, not just receivers. Him getting that money, it made people go, wow, quarterbacks can get much more than that if he gets that. Then you look at the receiver, Jesse.
I'm going to call the Ohio State Police and say, man, we got one up here, man, because this dude is stealing. They might have to extradite him back to Florida, dog, because he stole. I'm
serious. That joke at $18 million, man.
Man, I'm going to see him. I'm going to have my COVID mask on. I'm going to be like, dog.
That joker got people like CeeDee Lamb sitting back saying, I know my time coming. My time coming. I got more showing for him in 2 years than he did in 3. My time is coming. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no way you could get that dude $18 million. He never had 1,000 yards. There's no way. All the other receivers are saying, pay me. Pay me.
People buying him cars, buying him whatever, because he getting them people paid.
He getting people paid, man. Yep. But that's
understand Christian Kirk is the one who was a receiver who put all no good contract that upped everything. He even upped it for McLaurin. Your guy got a good contract.
He did. McLaurin got $24 million a year because of that. He upped it he pushed it up. You see what's the name get 30? Tyreek got 30. Then Devontae got 28. DeAndre got 27 and 26 for Stephon Diggs. So they all said if he getting 18, we got to get more than that. And Cooper Kupp got 28. So, he's helping everybody get more than not saying they don't deserve it. All of them deserve every dime they're getting. But he don't deserve 18.
I think McLaurin is the one who came out better than everyone because based upon the numbers compared to the rest of them, I think he came out. Now, Speaking of just now that we on the Washington football team, tell me if I'm wrong. I looked at I've looked at some of the things they're doing. When you sign McLaurin, and I'm looking at it, so we can understand football guys. When you sign McLaurin, if you're keeping him at the X position, understand in the NFL they can double everything. I think they need to get him into a position where he's moving, where the defense has to adjust and he can get mismatch on these linebackers. Because if you leave him at the X, man, we're just gonna roll the safety over and just say beat
Yep.
us.
Yep. We're gonna put our corner. We're gonna put our one of our top two corners over there, and then we're gonna put a safety behind that. We're gonna say he can't run by everybody, and we're gonna live with that. So they got to be Scott Turner's got to be more innovative in how you use him. Just simple as that. You got to be innovative, and you got to stop being so. You basically I can tell you what he's gonna do pre-snap just off the alignment. You go, okay, this is gonna be an off tackle play. This is gonna be a bubble. This is gonna be a quick slant trying to get the ball down the middle of the field. This is gonna be a tight end seam route. You can see the way he lines up. It's not even like hard to find out what he's not hard to tell what he's doing. So if I'm sitting in the house doing that, can you imagine with the D coordinators in the stadiums up top are telling guys down on the field, hey, we know what's coming right here. He's just not innovative enough. And that's the scary part for Washington on paper has a lot of weaponry. But the problem could be if the quarterback and the coordinator can't get it right, it ain't gonna work. That's the big fear.
Let me step in and explain. Okay, guys. So when you're looking at the NFL, I read the Bill Belichick book of how to defend teams. So let's I'm gonna break it down for you with Bill Belichick. What Bill Belichick does, he will take. This is amazing. He will take his third best corner, put a safety over top on your number one. He will take his second best corner and put another safety over top on your number two. He will now take his best corner, put on your number three, and then to your fourth and fifth guy got to beat him. So in other
Mm-hmm.
words, your third best guy better beat their first guy. If your
Mm-hmm.
third best guy can't beat their first guy, then now we got a ball game.
Nope.
It's chess, not checkers. And if you understand that, you got to find a way as an offense coordinator. You got to find a way to get these guys involved and get those mismatches. They're not doing in, on most things. I mean, I looked at Dallas. Dallas had the luxury of having really three good receivers last year, so
Oh
it
yeah.
didn't really matter. But I'm looking at now when you got with Washington, you have the guy, the Sean, what is it, Sheen Dotson, the
Yeah,
new kid,
Jahan Dotson. Yep,
John
Dotson.
Dotson.
Samuel.
You got
Yep.
Samuel. You have Scary
McLaurin.
Terry. You have McLaurin. You have
The
hell. You got
De'Ami Brown.
Gibson. You
De'Ami
have
Brown.
De'Ami
Yep.
Brown. You got Gibson. You got
And
McKissick.
McKissick.
You even got
Yeah.
the dude that came from Alabama. Then
Yep.
hell, you
Robinson.
got our
Yep.
man Garrett if he makes the team, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you
Yep.
have Logan Thomas. Then you
Logan
had another
Thomas.
guy that got bumped down to tight end. You
Golden Gandy. Yeah, Gandy Golden. Yeah. Yep. And then you also still got Cam Sims and Kelvin Harmon. You got a lot of guys. Got a lot of
no
receivers,
excuse
man.
this year.
None.
There's no
None.
excuse this year.
There's none.
If
There is none.
Wentz has to play like Wentz can play like 2018. I'm not asking Wentz to play 2017.
He'll never play that
Wentz
way
need to
again.
play. He's
Yes.
never gonna play that way.
Mm-mm.
2018 Wentz is decent
Yep.
until he
It's
got
solid.
hurt again.
Yeah.
Until he got hurt again and your boy
Yep.
came in. But
Yep.
even
Yep.
even that now, if I'm Washington, how because I need to get that dude ready, and you need to put your boy at third string as emergency quarterback. I'm putting Howell because I need Howell to be ready to go because that guy's a real gunslinger. And if your boy go down, I'm gonna roll with Howell. I'm not going backwards to your boy Heineke Beer Bottle. I'm not going back to him. I'm done with him. He got to go third string. You only paying him $2 million.
He said Heineke beer bottle.
That's what I call him, Heineke Beer Bottle. Y'all call him Beer Man. I call him Heineke Beer Bottle. I didn't know his name. That looked like Heineke Beer Bottle to me.
Oh man, he said Heineke beer
So
bottle. That is
that's
hilarious, man.
if you,
Oh man.
hey,
Oh my
green just
Lord,
like the
man.
bottom. So I ain't messing with that dude, man.
Oh
That
man.
dude was terrible, man.
Yeah, he's
He
pretty.
played
He
the
has no. He
Cowboy
has.
game. I said, man,
He absolutely no arm strength, man. He can't throw the ball downfield, man. He just can't do it. I didn't understand. I always go back to the blitz on Michael Parsons. He saw Parsons coming. He just stood there, and instead of putting the ball away, he puts it up. And I'm like, he's going to strip the ball. That's what Parsons does. He's going for the ball first. Somebody has taught him to. So I never understood pass rushers. That's why Parsons is really good, because most pass rushers, if you look at Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White, if you knock the ball out the quarterback hand, that's a sack and a fumble. You ain't got to get them to the ground. They give you credit for both. So I never understood by wanting to make the kill shot on a quarterback. First of all, you put yourself at risk to get a penalty, and let's lose up. Just knock the ball out of his hands and hit him, but you don't have to try to kill him, because most of the time you do that, they're going to call that. Strip the ball. Parsons does that well already, which is you can tell he's been in some really good pass rushing rooms. Some coaches have coached him up.
yeah, he's done it well. In that division, I hate to tell people, and I hate to break this to people, Philadelphia.
Yeah, they're dangerous. They're dangerous.
Going to be dangerous.
They're
And
dangerous.
I didn't tell you, I saw Kelsey, the line. I saw him in the lobby. We were about to go upstairs to the NFL party. So I saw him. I was like, hey man, I said, man, hey, I'm a Cowboy fan. He was like, oh God, here we go. I said, no, dude. I said, look, what you did last year and your leadership you had on that, and I said just like this, that sorry team, and you took them to the playoffs. I said you did better with that team last year than you did with the team in 17 that won the Super Bowl. And he looked at me and said, yeah, it was fine. Yeah. I said, your leadership was the reason why y'all made it to the playoffs. Y'all should have never been in the playoffs. Not with
No,
that team.
no.
This team this year, though, them guys from Georgia, that D line, that linebacker, that dude, the wide receiver they got from the Titans.
AJ Brown, Kobe Dean, Jordan Davis. Yeah.
Everybody talking trash about Hurt. The second year, he got to the playoffs. They didn't have anything, and
No,
they
they
should have
didn't.
beat Washington if they would have kept him in the game. It would have cost them the
Yeah,
playoffs.
they had.
I
Yeah,
always hear
man.
that
Yeah, man.
crap.
Yeah, man. They had us confused, man. We couldn't stop that run. Every time he pulled the ball down and ran, he got what he wanted. Every time. Every time. Yep.
Around with Philly, you keep messing around with Philly, and all these people sitting here talking trash about the Giants. I'm gonna tell you one thing. There's two people. There's Debo. If he gets Danny Nichols to be Danny Dimes again, and if he gets Saquon Barkley to play, see, their defense is going to be fine. Because the Giants are what I call a cycle team. They go a couple years of being bad, then all of a sudden they show up, and you be like, damn, where was this team?
Mm-hmm.
And that's who they are. Their defense is going to be solid. So in that division, don't you roll your helmet out and be like, "Whoa, I got 4 wins." No, no, no. A bunch of y'all going to be 3-3 in that division. A bunch of people are going to have to defend home field in that division. I don't see nobody winning more than 4 games in that division. I don't see nobody getting swept. I don't see none of them getting swept by either team. I
No.
think it's going to play out even all around the board. That's how I look at it, because I've been looking at this division since 1975, 76. And
Mm-hmm.
I am telling you, when you look at this division, well, Dallas got this and got that. No, 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 no. When those teams are good on defense, Dallas have problems with them. Always good on defense. All 3 teams are given credit for. The team that had the worst defense was the Cowboys. I think they will edge everyone out with the best defense this year, simply because your boy is a defensive guru. Give him a little history about Dan Quinn and
Oh,
tell him.
Dan Quinn, bad boy, man. He's the architect of the cover 3 in Seattle. He wanted to build that into what you saw. He's the one that told people Earl Thomas wasn't too small to play free safety. Cam Chancellor wasn't a linebacker. He was mobile enough to play strong safety. And Richard Sherman was good enough to be a man-to-man lockdown corner. Now, he did have safety help a lot, but he also played a lot of man, too. And they in the other corner, they just put anybody over there and they were good. As long as them three were back there and Bobby Wagner and them guys were in the front seven, they didn't have to have another great corner. And he just, if you look at the Cowboy defense from one year to the next compared to where they were in 2020 to last year, it was like night and day. It was not even, and I know Michael Parsons came over. Trayvon Diggs got a year older. What's that, a year better? Randy Gregory finally played to his ability. You got DeMarcus Lawrence playing better. But that's a product of Dan Quinn's scheme. Dan Quinn's scheme is so, it's hard to double team anybody in Dan Quinn's scheme because of how he moves them guys. You really can't double team block anybody on his D line because of how he lines them up. If you double team them, that's going to allow backers to shoot gaps, which is not what you really want to do when you got a Sean Lee and a Michael Parsons coming downhill like that. You don't want them in the backfield because they're gonna cause. Michael Parsons is quick enough; he could get back there and probably strip the ball or take the ball on the handoff. That's how quick he is. So you don't want to try to double team block a lot of those Cowboy linemen. It just doesn't work. It's very rare that you see, even in Seattle, they didn't double team block Michael Bennett and them. They couldn't. The way the scheme is set up, the Cowboys line is sort of like Seattle's line. Not the biggest line, but they're athletic and they're physical. And the way he designs his defense is so you can't double team them because they're a little undersized as it is. He wants them to be a little quicker, to be around the ball more. And like I said, he's a great coordinator. It's only a matter of time before he's on the sideline as a head coach again. It's only a matter of time. He went to that Super Bowl loss in Atlanta. Atlanta killed him for a few years. It killed him, you know. Yeah, because he'd probably still be the coach there had he not lost that Super Bowl. Probably still be the coach. That would have bought him a couple more years down there.
I got a prediction. It will be similar to 1979. That division is going to come down, and it's going to be a three-way tie. And the winner of the division is going to be based upon what was the record in the division and in the conference.
Yep.
I think Washington, I think Dallas, and I think Philly all in at 10-7. And whoever has the best record within the conference. So, guys, when you're looking at these games, it's better to lose to an AFC team than to an NFC team. So, these games are important. When you start looking at it, we're going to be educating you. We're going to try to get Dev on the telestrator this year for a little bit to kind of break down some of the stuff so you guys can see it. We're going to try to get Tom so he can break down Washington's defense. He can break down the front and the back half. So you guys can actually see. Now, we won't have the call, the actual call, but we can kind of gauge what, based upon how the alignment, we can kind of gauge what they're trying to do and what coverage they in. I mean, you can almost look at that when you're at a game. You can almost see the coverage based upon how they lined and what the quarterback is reading. So we're going to try to be a little bit, a little bit more informational this year and get you some more stuff so you can kind of see, so you can learn the game, the actual game, and see, from professionals like Dev who actually do this for a living. You can see what they're looking at and they can explain to you. So you know what the hell you're talking about. You're not up there just yelling, like I said, nacho eating, beer drinking, fan. You can be better than that. And then if you want to throw a little bit of money on the game, you understand where they coming from. Deb, give us your quarterbacks this year. How you got them ranked? Who you got as your top 10 quarterback in the NFL this year?
My top 10. Patrick Mahomes will be 1. Josh Allen will be 2. Aaron Rodgers would be 3, even though I think he's going to have a struggle. He's won 2 back-to-back MVPs, so I got to still put him in the top 5. I'm going to go Brady 4. I'm going to go Burrow 5, and I know Burrow probably ranked high to a lot of y'all, but you get to a team to a Super Bowl and you win in Kansas City and you win in Tennessee, the way you won them games, and you had, if it wasn't for Aaron Donald, just like Tony said, the guy that's supposed to block Aaron Donald didn't even try to block him on the last play. He just let you come right through. He didn't even touch him. So he had them within 40 yards of winning the Super Bowl, or tying it up and go to overtime, and his guy didn't block. So I got Burrow there. Then I got 6. I have Justin Herbert. 7, I'm going to throw Dak in there. 7, I'm going to throw number 8. I'm going to go Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson is a little fluffed at times. I think people give him a little more credit than he deserves. He's very good still. but I just don't know if Russell Wilson has the desire to win another Super Bowl. I'm not trying to throw shade, but all I see him doing is hanging out with his wife. You know, I don't see him doing anything else with football anymore. You know, let's just be real.
Great video of him doing all the little stuff on the
I saw it. Yeah, all the hits, all the turn your back throw, that sort of stuff we do. Yeah, I saw. And he's still a great quarterback. I just don't think Denver. I don't think Denver is. I think Denver will be a problem, but I just don't see Denver overtaking the other teams in the AFC West right now. I think to a man, the Chargers and the Chiefs and the Raiders are still better to me on paper. I just look at what they got now. My ninth quarterback would be Lamar Jackson would probably be ninth right now. I know he probably deserves to be a little higher, but I got to see how he's throwing the ball this year. I got to before I put him any higher. And 10th, did I say Justin Herbert yet? I got Herbert in there. Number 10. I don't know who number 10. There ain't a whole Deshaun Watson's not gonna play, so I can't. He hasn't played in a year, so I don't know what he can do anymore. Kyler Murray, I guess, would be 10. I guess based on addition by subtraction right now. But
you did have it with Matt Stafford.
Oh, I'm sorry. Matt Stafford goes in that top 10. Thank you. Kyler Murray out. Kyler Murray's out. And I put Dak over Kyler Murray because I think Dak, I just have a problem with the size of Kyler Murray sometimes. I know he wins and stuff, but for a quarterback coach like me, that size at some point it creeps in at some point. That lack of size hurts you somewhere down the line, and he just can't see over the line when I need him to see over the line. You know, them big linemen get Calais Campbell 6'8", put them hands up. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? You can't see over that guy. You know, it's just but those are my top 10. And if I was a betting man, Josh Allen probably gonna be the MVP this year. I think this is the year you see. Brian Dable did a great job, but I think at times he handcuffed him a little sometimes too. I think now without Dable, he's going to have all the freedom to do what he wants, checks at the line, and pretty much do a Jim Kelly version of what they're doing now. Call the game for the line of scrimmage and just ball out. They're going to be fun to watch in Buffalo. They're going to be fun to watch.
I think the quarterback that's going to have the best year because he doesn't have any pressure on him is going to be Mahomes. I think because they went and got all those weapons, and I see him going off the chain this year because nobody's talking about him. Nope. Everything is Josh Allen.
True.
I am telling people right now, and I don't cheer for Kansas City. I don't like any of them teams. I actually like Russell Wilson. I think Denver, because they have a top 3 defense and then they got a quarterback, I think they're going to be dangerous. But until you beat the until you really beat him, he is that dog. You don't play in 4 straight
AFC
championships at home.
No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen like that, bro.
4 straight at home.
He's never not made the AFC championship game as a starter. 4 years, four championship games, 2 Super Bowl appearances. And both games he lost were winnable games. They lost in overtime both times. They didn't lose it regularly. They lost in overtime, So it's like
only got the ball once.
Yep, only got the ball once.
The ball in the other overtime. Now, he did throw an interception
he did.
in that overtime.
He did.
Which I think helped with the NFL rules. Because had he taken that ball down the field and scored a touchdown, that rule would have been gone out of football.
Yep. Because we had just watched the week before. Where Josh Allen didn't get a chance. So we're like, here we go again with this. And you made a good point. You said that throw actually changed the trajectory of their team because that was the end of Tyreek Hill's time. It's like now you move on from Tyreek Hill. The pressure of feeding a guy like that, making sure he gets his touches, are now out the window. Now it's equal opportunity offense. Everybody's got a chance. Sky Moore, Travis Kelce, Ronald Jones is their new running back. They still got McCole Hardman. They got Juju Smith-Schuster. They got Josh. They got Josh. The kid that can't stay off weed. What's his name? Josh Gordon. If he could figure it out. And they got the kid from Clemson. If he can stay healthy, we never know. That kid was a great player before he got hurt at Clemson. So here they sit with all these weapons, and a great offensive line, a great quarterback, and then on defense they got better because they was able to upgrade their pass rush and their secondary.
Yes.
So I look at it like, wow, they got rid of one guy and they ended up for Tyreek Hill, they got Sky Moore, George Kalafis, the safety from Houston, and they got the number one safety in the number one corner in the draft outside of Sauce Gardner from Washington, McDuffie.
And they shored up their offensive line.
And they fixed their O-line. And I'm telling you, with those play callers over there and that quarterback, if they win 13, 14 games, it wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't.
That is my MVP. Now, Josh Allen is a great pick because blah, 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 blah. But don't overlook. Karpovich said something years ago, and I always remember what he said. Never underestimate the heart of a champion.
Yep.
And those guys have been champions before.
Yep.
And it took crazy stuff. Overtime to beat them. 2 overtimes. Hell, Kansas City could have been the 4th straight Super Bowl.
Yep. 4 straight.
Times away from going to 4 straight, which has never been done before but Buffalo.
Yep.
So, guys, now when Buffalo went to their 4 straight, they started falling downhill. Jim Kelly was old. He was hurt a lot, and all of the stuff.
And they ran into the NFC Beast every year. That was the problem. NFC Beast was in their way.
Kansas City's not going downhill.
No, they're not.
Kelsey's getting better.
Yeah.
And you saw what they just did. Listen, I was one to say that when they signed Mahomes, I thought it was a death sentence for the rest of their team. But Miami threw them a lifeline. By throwing that thing over there to come get the wide receiver, that actually helped them get better. Who's that? What did Jody Coleman
Jody said, yep, that's true, Jody. He do. Josh Allen got more rushing touchdowns than Lamar Jackson's career. He does. Yep. But you know, Tony, the funny part about Mahomes' contract, I don't know if you know this, but the way that the GM did it, he set it up where he can decide how much it counts against the cap every year. That's why it's not hurting him that much. See, he did it in a smart way. Mahomes allowed him to do that. See, that's why
they got good management.
Yep, and that's exactly why I tell people every other quarterback getting this money, these owners, these GMs and owners and cap guys aren't thinking that way. They're just paying this big lump sum to the quarterback. And that cap hit is 50. In a lot of cases, it's like 40, 50% of your cap. So that's half your money to one guy. So now you got to figure out how to build a team out with 52 more bodies with that little bit of money. That's why Mahomes thing last year, this year I believe it's going to count for 30 million against the cap, 29, which is cool. See, a lot of his money is tied to the back end. So if he leaves, they give him a lump sum. That don't count against the cap. See, that's the smart way of doing it. The owner don't mind paying deferred money, and he didn't mind taking deferred money, which is what you see in baseball a lot.
Can we bring this point up? So, guys, there has never been a quarterback, once he's got paid big money, to lead his team to the Super Bowl.
Nope.
Now, Mahomes came close. He was 1 year away.
Mm-hmm.
But when they pay that big money, there's never been a quarterback to lead his team to the Super Bowl.
Yep. So, just to the game itself. Yep.
So when you look at these things, now it may give this year in the AFC, Allen got paid, Mahomes got paid, Jackson's gonna get paid. So we go down this list here. Now, when you start doing that, let's go down this list. Who got paid and who didn't? That's in the AFC.
Watson got paid. We don't know if he's gonna play, but he got paid. Yep.
Got paid. Mahomes got paid. Allen got paid. Mm-hmm. Jackson gonna get paid. Mm-hmm. So when you start looking at the top teams, even Russell Wilson got paid. Did Derek Carr get paid?
He did get paid. He makes like 34, 35, so he got paid too, 33, 34. And I think he's going to be an MVP candidate this year based on what they got offensively. I look at their weaponry.
If that holds true, that means the team that has the best chance of going to the Super Bowl in the AFC will be the Chargers.
Mm-hmm. Because he's still on a rookie deal. Yep. What's his 3rd year coming up?
That may be a betting thing for you right there.
Yep. He's still got – really, he's under team control for the next 3 years. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They may
He's under
sneak
team
in,
control for
so
3 years. You're right, and they have a
they
very
can
good
look.
roster.
They have a good roster. They got number one
Yep.
corner in the league, don't they? Did they
Yeah, they
get him
do.
from New
J.C.
England?
Jackson. J.C.
Mm-hmm.
Jackson. Yep. And they got
So they're another
Khalil Mack.
team.
And they got
Oh,
Khalil Mack. Hmm.
okay.
To go with Joey Bosa. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. They're
Back
gonna be
to the
loaded.
league. The
Hmm.
the Chargers, that AFC West, man. I
It's
would not want
murder's
to be.
row, man. It is
I
six
would
six
not
of
want
the
to.
hardest games. Those are going to be 6 hard-fought games for every team. It is not going to be easy. It is going to be murder's row.
Dev, AFC West, AFC North. I can make a argument for every team winning, and I can make an argument for every team losing. And those 8 teams, folks. So as you know, those 8 teams are sound. Now we're talking about Cleveland with a Deshaun Watson puts them to another level.
Yeah, yeah.
That's another level.
Yep.
So when Bill Cosby come back from his thing, we're gonna have a big. We're able to judge them just right.
Oh man, you call that man Bill Cosby, man. Oh man, I tell you,
He
oh
ain't
man,
playing.
you wild. Yeah,
I hope
yeah.
I hope he comes. I hope he plays.
Hmm.
But damn,
Yeah, it don't look real
we
good
don't.
for him.
It
It
doesn't.
don't
It
look
doesn't
good.
look
I think
good.
he'll get a whole year. And they said the NFLPA said they're gonna sue the NFL if he gets a whole year. It's a mess, man. It is a.
Oh Jesus,
And then you got the
Lord.
Texans paying off 30 of the women, and they supposedly was renting a hotel room at the Houston hotel for him. I said, so what are we really doing? The owner going to say, we're not doing this as a admitting guilt. We just want to clarify that because we feel like no one should go through this. Why y'all paying him if you're not guilty? Then why are you paying them women? I ain't paying them nothing if I know I had nothing to do with that. I ain't paying them. That's because they had something to do with that, man. That dude asked for a trade, and within a month and a half, all this stuff came out. He asked for a trade. He wanted out after they traded DeAndre Hopkins and let J.J. Watt leave. He wanted out, and you look up, and a month and a half later, his whole life has changed overnight. Something just ain't adding up. It just ain't adding up. The good old boy network covering up something for those owners in Houston, and when they come out, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
With that Keith Sweat song, something just ain't right.
Something just ain't right, man. It ain't
Something
right,
just
bro. It
ain't
just
right.
ain't.
And I'm gonna
Wrong,
start
man.
calling him "Can't Get Right" because this song is getting me. Because I
Man, I'm
hear the
so sick
story
of it.
every day. I'm
Yeah.
like, what the
He didn't
hell?
he didn't pay 20 women, 50 women that got paid. And we still ain't got no verdict on what's really gonna happen with him. 50 people that got money.
I think he touched me too. Shit.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like,
I'm
this
like
the
me.
right
Yeah, I'm telling you,
shit.
man. It's crazy, man. It is the weirdest thing I have never seen. And the NFL loves to drag their feet on stuff like this. They take forever to come to a conclusion. You know what you're going to do. Just let us know so we can move on and get to playing football. Because I don't want to hear about him every week leading up to the season. Make a decision on the dude. Say he's gonna get 8 weeks. He's gonna get 16. He's gonna get the whole 17. Whatever you're gonna do, make a decision and let's go. Cleveland sitting here, their whole franchise is on hold because without him, they're not a playoff team without him. They're not. I'm sorry. I know they got a good running game. The defense is good, but they need him at quarterback in that conference. You're not going to playoffs without him. You're not going to playoff with Jacoby Brissett.
That
I'm sorry.
Jacoby, that
You're not going
Jacoby
with him.
Brisket,
Yeah, he is
Mr.
awful,
Brisket
man.
ain't gonna help you, dog.
No,
I mean,
he is a
the that brisket was in the oven too long.
yeah.
He
He
ain't
he
that
can
good.
he can he can carry you for a couple weeks, 3 or 4 weeks if you had to. You can go 2-2 with him, but you can't play 17 games with him. If you go 17 games, they might win 5 or 6 games if he the guy for 17. Because Cincinnati, Pittsburgh, and Baltimore, Pittsburgh, people look at them as their quarterback. Yeah, but that defense is going to be really good, and that running game going to be really good.
They're gonna have. To me, I think that's the number one defense in the NFL.
Yeah, well, the highest
I
paid.
think Pittsburgh will be.
They're going to be very
Listen,
good on defense. Very good.
give me a better Hayward, my man Jack,
Yep, Miles Jack,
and Fitzpatrick.
and you got
Give
Devin
me,
Bush too.
give me a better.
Yep,
Give me a better 5 than that.
yeah. So what you say? Watt? I agree. And you also got that other kid on the other side. That kid on the other side had 9 sacks. Highsmith from UNC Charlotte. He's a good pass rusher too. So they got some dudes, man. They can get after the quarterback. They can stop if they can stop the run better this year than they did last year, they're going to be a problem. All you need Trubisky to do is don't lose the game, because you're going to be able to move the football. Just don't lose the game for us. Najee Harris.
There's a stat on Trubisky. Since 1950, he is the only quarterback to not throw a pick six in over like 300 attempts or something like that. He's the only quarterback in 70 years to not throw a pick six.
In his whole career.
In his entire career.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. That's a good stat. So he takes care of the football.
So that means he takes care of the football. Points.
He's not. He's not. And I'm going to tell you another piece of their team that no one's talking about. This guy's going to be a top 5 tight end soon. Freiermuth. Give him time. He's coming.
That's the guy from Penn State, right?
He's coming. He's coming.
Yeah,
he's coming.
He's good. So
he's going to be really good this year because they're going to need him without Big Ben throwing 2 yards down the field. They'll be able to use him down the seams and stuff and use his size. That kid can play. He just needs a guy to get him the ball. Kenny Pickett is going to be the guy at some point. But I think right now you're going to see Trubisky as the starter. I don't think Pickett beats him out. I think you run Trubisky out there for a while.
Yeah. So my point is, in the AFC, if you go from the bottom, so you got the Texans, the Jaguars, the Jets. After that, dude, those 11 teams can all make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So you got 11 great teams fighting for 7 positions.
Yep.
It's coming down to the last play of the last game again next year. Because I don't know, when I look at all the divisions, who can you run over top in the AFC?
I'm going to say this about the Jets. The Jets ain't going to be no pushovers. They have some pieces. They're going to be a tough out for people. They're not going to be pushovers. They're not.
With Stifler's mom.
Yep. Zach Wilson's the man, man.
Man. Zach Wilson out there banging his mom's friend.
Out there doing his thing, man.
Come make a video.
He gonna say, and then he gonna say, I was in the woods. I ain't even know. I'm saying, what happened? He talking about what happened. Like he didn't know. He said his phone wasn't working the whole time he was out there. So he was out there with the team working them out. Doing he had bought the team for a vacation and working out. He didn't know what had happened until he got back in town 3 days later. I said, this dude crazy, man. Crazy.
He just like the movie American Pie when they went up to a cabin.
Yep.
He got with Stifler's mom. It's the same thing.
True.
Zach Wilson, you dirty, buddy.
Dirty dude.
But the Jaguars, so we talking about the bottom team. The Jaguars, see, you have to look at it, folks. The Jaguars had a top quarterback. Also, the reason why the Baker Mayfield trade didn't go down with Houston is because they already had a guy named Davis Mills. Davis Mills was the number 1 quarterback in his class. So, guys, these teams, the 3 teams that we think are going to be not really good, they got 3 good quarterbacks. So
they do. 3 young, good quarterbacks. Yep.
Any week, those guys can come up, and you're going to be like, holy shit, they beating us. Yep. So, the AFC, dude, I don't know if anyone wins. It will be a log jam from the 11 in that league. And I think the team is going to be around 6 or 7 games. So 16 teams within 4 or 5 games of each other. That's pretty tight. I think that's what's going to happen in the NFC. Now,
it's going to be crazy.
The NFC, the Falcons are absolutely awful. I think Seattle is terrible. Seattle, they're going to be terrible. Now, my surprise team in the NFC is going to be Carolina.
Yeah, they're not going to be bad.
Like them.
They're not going to be bad.
You don't like them because you don't like their coaching staff. But I think.
Yeah, Matt Rule stinks. But they do have an upgrade. He is an upgrade. He's an upgrade. He's an upgrade, and their defense was good last year. Defense was good last year. Offense was bad, but on offense, you get if you can't depend on that. But if Run CMC could stay healthy, which is a big if, and then you have three really good receivers in Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore and Terrence Marshall. You got a guy in Baker Mayfield who can get them the football. You got a good tight end in Wilson, and you got a good offensive line. The key will be, is Christian McCaffrey going to break down after 2 or 3 weeks, or is he going to be able to withstand playing this? If he stays healthy, they're going to be a playoff team. And I know nobody don't want to hear that, but they're going to be a playoff team if he stay healthy, because in the NFC South, the Buccaneers and the Saints are going to make it. They may get 3 teams out of that, because I think they're looking at their schedule being so bad last year. They have a very favorable schedule. And Baker Mayfield is no bum. We seen he could play. He just needed to get out of Cleveland. It was time. He's no bum, you know?
Out of the South, I think the East may get 2. That's 5. And the 2 of them division winners.
Yep, that's it. Because the rest, I don't even think Minnesota and Green Bay.
Minnesota, Green Bay, and then no. I'm sorry, folks, because it's Arizona.
Yeah,
it's 49ers,
you're right.
and it's the Rams.
So we wrong. The Panthers ain't making no playoffs. Cancel that. Nope, cancel that. So you're gonna get at least 2 from the West, 2 from the East, 2 from the South, and 1 from the Central. I just don't trust the Vikings. I think they got a lot of. I don't trust that. The Packers, I don't trust. But see, people fail to realize Aaron Rodgers doesn't have his weapons he had. But this is the best defense he's had since the Super Bowl year they had. This defense this year with Smith and Gary on the edges, and then the safety duo and Jari Alexander on corner, and their linebackers are good. This is going to be a top 10 defense. So he won't have to score 30 a week. He'll be able to score 21 and win some games because their defense will be enough. And they got a great running back duo in A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, second best duo in the league, probably behind Chubb and Hunt. Then you probably got the Pollard and Zeke duo. I think the Washington duo is coming on. It's a lot of good duos out here in the league running the football. You got some really good running duos. You got the Tennessee duo, which if they had used the other guy in the playoffs, they beat the Bengals. Me and you talked about that. Instead of bringing Derrick Henry back, Foreman had 7 carries for 70 yards, 60 yards, something like that, and they stopped running the guy. So you look around the league. I think the Packers, we think a lot of people think they're going to tank. They're still going to win 11 or 12 games because their defense is still good, and Aaron Rodgers will make them receivers better to an extent. He will. And he doesn't have all bums. Sammy Watkins can play. Randall Cobb can still play. The kid from North Dakota State can play. And who knows? They may sign Odell Beckham Jr. when he gets, if they feel like, they can add him or wait somebody to get cut and get another veteran. They got some good tight ends. Green Bay still got weapons. The issue is Devontae Adams was just so good that you think they're going to fall off. But no, now you have to spread the ball around. You don't have a guy that you can throw the ball to 15, 17 times a game now. So those go to other people. Like same thing with the Chiefs. Just now it's a matter of getting the ball into other hands and using all your playmakers instead of forcing the ball to one guy most of the game. That's all it is.
I think what saves Green Bay is the 1-2 punch in running back.
It's tough.
I think that helps them more.
It's tough
than
anything.
It's going to help them more than any of the other weapons.
I agree.
Will turn around and hand that ball off, and those guys getting good yards, and that makes his play action even more deadly for him.
Gets him on the edges.
Yeah, I don't see him winning MVP. Now, I do say, you can call me biased, I think this is the biggest year that Dak has to have. Dak is in a year for Dallas. He has to play well. Now, Jody called the Giants terrible. The Giants aren't terrible. If Danny Dimes become Danny Dimes and Saquon Barkley can run that ball. Now, we're talking about ifs because he like McCaffrey. If he can run that ball, there's going to be a problem in the NFC East because they have a defense.
They do.
That is what the Giants is known for, that defense, and they will be coming. So, folks, you better be ready to score some points in that daggone NFC East because these defenses are pretty damn good.
Don't they have Thibodeau? Don't they have Thibodeau and Leonard Williams on the edges now?
Yes, they do.
Yeah, that's not going to be easy to deal with, man. People act like they don't have weapons. You look at their receiving core. If Galladay can get back to being healthy, and you got the kid Kadarius Toney, who I told people he's a big play waiting to happen, and you still got Shepard. They got some receivers, man. They got some guys. Didn't Evan Ingram leave? I think he left via free agency, which is a loss, but not a loss, because he never stepped up when they needed him to. He made plays, but he dropped a lot of balls too. But I think the Giants, like I said, it's going to come down to Danny Nichols. If Danny Nichols can be solid, the Giants can win 7 or 8 games easily. They really can. They can be at 8.
Just signed with Cleveland.
Who? Who did?
Josh Rosen.
Oh, okay. That dude out here. That dude's still playing, man. That dude is Jesse, man. That dude. I didn't even know he was still in the league, man. That dude been still in check since he got drafted, man.
In 2 weeks, we're gonna have to put an APB out for him because there ain't no way in the world he should be getting a check. Josh Rosen is a scrub. That's Tommy.
He is terrible.
Tommy hated.
And I'm gonna tell you, man. When he was in high school, I thought he was gonna be so good. I watched him with Bosco, and they played Bishop Gorman, and they were down 31-3, and I watched him. Bishop Gorman was the number 1 ranked team in the nation. He put up 28 points in the fourth quarter and took them to lost. The game ended in a tie. No, they lost 31-30. And I watched this dude, and I said, remember he went to UCLA and they beat Texas A&M. They came back, and he was a freshman. He lit it up, and I'm like, damn, this dude's solid. He gets drafted, and I'm not gonna lie, as a quarterback coach, of all the guys in the draft, he had the best footwork, he had the best release, he had the best understanding of what the defense was doing when I watched him in high school and college. And it's like he got to the league and just all that just went away. It just went completely out the window. He also got a real rich family, don't he? Family's super rich. So football is not something he really loves. He does it because he gets paid well to do it. And he was told he should do it. He wants to surf. He'd rather surf all day. That's what he did all his whole life, just surf.
I need hungry folks out here.
Yeah, I need hungry guys. Yeah.
I need hungry things. See, guys, so what we've done is we kind of given you a little bit. We kind of summed up what we're looking at for the NFL. I'm not going to ask Dad for no predictions. I'm the crazy one who came out with that BS with Arizona. I get caught in the moment, man. I get caught in the I get caught in the moment. I feel Arizona is going to the Super Bowl simply because the Super Bowl it's being played in Arizona. Mm-hmm. That's my. It's going to take a lot for me to come off that. I mean,
you've been right. Well, you've been right the last 2 years. You've been right the last 2 years.
On that train because I don't want to see them go to Super Bowl, and I'm sitting here kicking myself like, man, what the hell? You know, the NFL with what they're doing and these teams being good and is lining up with them going to play at home. I mean, it was almost impossible for it to happen, but it's happened 2 years in a row. Now, it better not happen 4 years in a row. If it happens 4 years in a row, they're going to be losing some money and people are going to be getting fired or something's going to happen. Because they're going to be like, hold on now. How did this happen? You know, come on now. I mean, technically, you really don't make any money when the home team plays the Super Bowl because you looking for people to come in, bodies to come
you're looking
in,
for people to come from out of town.
Hotels,
out of towners. Yeah.
But I was at the Super Bowl this year, dude, and the city of LA to actually have a representative this year, it was kind of cool because when we walked into the place, all they played was California Love. And it was unbelievable how those fans were just, I mean, it was, I guess it was destiny. It was destiny. And I think the Rams and the Chargers played this year against each other.
Yeah, they do. They do. Yeah, they do. Yep. The AFC West play the NFC West this year. That's the division matchup. That's going to be murder's row when them teams get together. That is going to be so much fun. We get to see that. Remember that last Rams and Chiefs game, 54-51. You remember that, don't you? On Monday Night Football. You remember that, don't you?
Yeah, it was Monday. It was a Monday night before Thanksgiving in 18. Yep. I'll never forget that.
Craziest game I've ever seen. It was unbelievable.
One of the best games I've ever seen.
And we would have got a rematch in the Super Bowl. We almost got the Super Bowl rematch, but like you said, the Chiefs didn't get the ball in overtime, and the Patriots won. We almost got that in Super Bowl. Yep.
Cup got hurt that year.
Yeah.
And if Cup doesn't get hurt that year, he may have been the one that cost them the Super Bowl against the Patriots.
Yeah.
So, you know, how
It would have been.
Work out.
It would. Could you imagine Edelman and Cup going catch for catch as little white slot receivers that nobody can cover? The MVP being what either or of the team that win, because that's what it would have been. Probably it probably would have been that.
But I was sitting there where I could see the game. Most people don't understand. Cooper Cup was getting double covered the entire game.
Oh yeah,
The person who was going to win the MVP if he didn't get
was
hurt
Odell
was
Beckham.
Odell Beckham.
Oh, he was killing it.
Beckham had one-on-one coverage the whole game, and they weren't coming off of that. They were going to say Beckham was going to have to beat them, which is a smart game plan.
Yeah,
But
definitely.
it wasn't going to work, and it wasn't working because I think he had like 3 catches for like 50-something yards in the
And a
touchdown.
touchdown. Yeah, he did.
So
And on the and actually on the play he got hurt on, if he doesn't hurt the knee, he probably runs that in because when he caught it, he looked around and the whole sideline was there waiting for him. He might have took that to the house because there was no one within 5 yards of him when he caught that ball, and the knee just gave out. But he was on his way to MVP that day. He was. He definitely was.
MVP that day. So,
Yep.
hey, folks, we're trying to get you ready. We're 2 weeks out. We're going to come back next week. We're going to have Cody on here with his fantasy stuff. We're going to have Dev giving y'all heard tonight. Y'all heard Dev's top 10 quarterbacks now. So now that's kind of fluid because remember, he said Deshaun Watson, if Bill Cosby get out of jail, then he may be able to make it up in that top 10 or whatever. I know Jody Coleman going crazy because Jody sitting here, a big Cleveland fan,
Diehard
out in the
Cleveland guy.
Midwest.
Yep.
It's for the first time, when Watson come back, it's a straight quarterback-driven league.
Mm-hmm.
Every team but Seattle has a good quarterback or a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. Go down the list.
Mm-hmm.
Jets, Falcons with Mariota. I mean, just go down the list and look at everybody's position at quarterback. Now, Carson Wentz, jury's out on him. We're gonna find out. Can he? Now you remember, Carson Wentz, first time he's gonna be outside of a system that he's been playing for the first 6 years of his life.
True.
He played the same
He's never
system
been out.
in Philly, and he played the same system when he went to Indianapolis because of the coaching.
Yep.
Him outside of that system,
Mm-hmm.
we're about to find out Carson Wentz is that guy.
Yeah, he's
That
outside
is,
that
me,
system.
The biggest question mark in the NFC East is Carson Wentz, and it's the knee of Saquon Barkley.
Good stuff.
Division.
Yep.
If Wentz plays well and Saquon at 10-7, fighting for that playoff spot, and I will say, whoever gets the playoff spot and the other one gets the wild card, that wild card team will go in and beat them in that first round of the NFC playoffs. That's how I see the East coming out. Now, the West could also get 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the NFC East gets 2, West gets 3, and it's 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
That's 7.
But see, I think the Saints and the Bucks are gonna make it because the Saints defense is just too good, and Winston is not gonna lose games like that anymore. So the Saints defense is top 3 or 4 in the league.
The Bucks, the jury's out because now when you lost AB, you lost Gronkowski, and you got an overweight lover running the ball.
Yeah, they still got a good defense though, and they still got Brady, and they still got Godwin, and still got Mike Evans. I think they'll be fine. Don't forget they didn't have AB in that playoff game, and they tied it up, and then they went cover 0 and let Cooper Kupp get on it.
That playoff game, they should have got their ass whooped.
They
got them fumbled on the 2-yard line.
Yeah, that was Cam Akers, man. He fumbled twice on the 2-yard line. Fumbled twice.
Yeah,
they did get outplayed.
They should have beat the living crap out of them.
Yeah, but I just think
I don't know about the Bucks, man. Gronkowski, Brady
that's a
with
big
Gronkowski.
True.
Folks,
that's true.
Folks,
true.
If you're a gambling person, look at those lines. You're going to have to start listening to us. You're going to have to come back on and find us. We're about to roll out Dev, we appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you, man.
Tell them where you can find Dev. Dev, tell them where you can find yourself, man. Tell them.
You can
Tell
find me
everybody
at
where
Shadow League, Devon POV Mason, POV. You can find me at MLB Bro, POV Mason Sports, Devon POV Mason. You can find me at Urban Spotlight, Big Drip. You can also find me on social media, Facebook, Devon POV Mason, and Instagram and Twitter, POV Mason Sports. Those are all my handles. You can just, I put up stuff all the time, articles I write and stuff. So check me out. Some good stuff. Always have a good time talking sports.
He's a great writer. He's doing
Thank
all
you.
that stuff. Y'all should see our little text thing. We go back and forth. Bam, bam, bam. We texting everybody on there. You gotta have thick skin to come up on our talk because
and you got to be knowledgeable too, man. You got to know
gotta be
football.
knowledgeable because we going like that because it gets that because you have a fine line between your team you love.
Yep.
I mean, listen, I'm talking about reality. I'm a Cowboy fan. We've been to 27 straight Super Bowls. Well, at least we said we were going to Super Bowl every year. So we've been to 27 straight. Hell, we're so bad. J-Lo got more rings than us.
You know what, man? I'm gone,
she got
man.
6 rings,
Yeah,
and
she
we
got
got
6.
0 the last 27 years.
Yeah, man. She got rings, man.
Hey, folks, we'll be back next week. We're going to come back. We're going to hit you right. Come back. We had a 2 weeks. You got 2 weeks to spend with your wife. Go take her out for dinner. Go do something nice for her. And so you can kiss her like you about to go. Hey, you in the Navy. You got to kiss her so you can take your 6 months. You got to go do your 6-month tour.
Are y'all going live out there?
Yeah, we're going to go live.
So we're going to do this out there?
Yeah, we're going to bring y'all on. We're going to go live.
All right,
and
that's
we're
a bet.
going to kind of give you who's playing, who's not.
Okay.
Break down those 2 rosters.
Okay.
One really good team and one team
that's trying to figure out what they are. Yeah, but they do have a good coach. They got a Super Bowl winning coach, so I think he'll figure out what to do over time. We got to give him some time, but Doug Peterson can coach. We know that he can coach.
Well, we wasn't for the races, we would have 2 Super Bowl coaches out there, but that's for another show.
True. But true. Yep.
Talk to you, man. Hey, we out. The TD report.
Appreciate you.
We're gonna keep you updated, baby.
That's it. Appreciate you, Stoney. All right, babe. Later, man.